Hey Scott, remember the one episode we saw where Boonhauer took Bobby for his to show him how to pick up women? So he takes him to the women's shoe store, and Bobby's like, "So Boonhauer, that's your trick, just to ask every girl out? Man, don't tell me my secret, my name on Bobby. Don't tell him my secret. What's up?"
Keep it up, brother. Don't me tell my secret.
Yeah, don't tell him my secret.
Welcome to Big Pick 4, the NFL Pick Show, where the sports betting experts, Danny the Jew and Brian the Mick, will pick the best games for this weekend's NFL games. Their respective guarantees, also known as the Big Dan Guarantee and Big Brian Guarantee. Opening remarks from the gurus.
I would just like to give a shout out to a special lady, very strong, tough lady. My mom went to the hospital. She's hung in there. Didn't look good for a while, but she's back on her feet. She's a fighter. Shout out to my mom.
Good for her. And healthy.
Yes, and God bless her, and we will dedicate tonight's show for Tracy O'Haron. Tracy Lehman O'Haron,
Sounds good.
who was once courted by none other than Charles Schultz of Peanuts fame.
This is true.
Except Katie has all of the original Charles Schultz artwork that Brian traded for a bag of coins.
Thanks, Scott. Yeah, it's funny to you, isn't it, you little shithead?
And then you trade the coins for some magic beans.
She said, "I'll give you these shiny coins for this priceless collection of artwork and writings from Charles Schultz." And Brian's like, "Shiny coins."
Pretty funny, Scott.
Shiny things. He gets distracted.
Brian's
Scott, aren't you homeless? I don't know. I'm not sure. Scott, is this a lot of trash talk from a guy who's homeless, right?
Brian was like, "Coins are cool."
Yeah, Brian one time lived with a homeless woman. We all remember that story.
Hey, I'm not homeless. I'm just a passenger on the big blue marble in space, brother.
Get the fuck out of here, Scott.
Yeah.
You can. What's the expression? You can't put lipstick on a pig. Yeah, you can put lipstick on a pig, but it's still a pig. Yeah. Yeah, Scott. There you go. That's your lipstick.
Some of us have a higher calling than having homes. Some of us want to sit in trees or go disrupt Japanese whaling, which is a.
You're Kane from Kung Fu, right?
That's right.
You travel the world helping people.
The sport betting system is going to pay off this baseball season. That's right.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so as always, we're going to do a quick wrap up of the overall. Well, I didn't even think to. Somehow I got lazy and I didn't think to do last week's pick. So we'll have to just kind of talk to it from the overall. And Dan, you were saying that if the Big B lost a guarantee, he was going to be hosed at work. What is the deal on that?
Yeah, if he loses again, he owes a lot of money to two guys that work with him.
But I won last
But
week.
you won. If he loses one more time,
Yeah.
then
I owe money to a couple
Yeah,
coworkers.
he already has a payment plan put in place to pay these people for these bets that he made.
Yeah, for all you African Americans, close your ears. I'm on the black payment plan.
So the Big B did
Yeah. Look at that overall record. Look, we should be.
No, yeah, I won last week.
Yeah, our record should be
the
34,
Big
26.
Dan
That's
was
pretty good.
a clunker last week. Did not come through.
No, not at all.
What I found most interesting from going back and recapping the show last week was that
You're 5-1, Scott.
the Big O predicted the blowout of the week, number one, and number two is the the two losing picks were the two that I commented on. One was a team that had nothing to play for, which was the Tennessee Titans. I questioned that pick. And what was the other one I questioned?
They can still make
Was
the
the
playoffs, Titans.
Yeah, and you were trying to make some hokey argument about how the Arizona was going to make it to the playoffs potentially.
They still can make it.
They can make it too.
They're 7-7.
Yeah, I mean, come on, man.
They're not eliminated.
They're not eliminated. It's like the stadium thing again. You need to get a chart of who's in it.
Yeah, you
Tennessee
do, Scott.
was in the 5th position of the AFC last week before they decided to screw it all up.
Yeah, so I my comments were spot on.
Oh, get
out of here.
Get the fuck out. Boo, yeah, boo.
But recap, who were the two losing picks last week? Was the Titans and who was the other one? Was it it was someone predicted that the Colts wouldn't win a game all season. And I said, wait a minute, do you think they're going to go a whole season and not win a single game?
Yes. They shouldn't have.
Hail to the Big O.
If plays that game, they win.
Hail to the Big O.
Wait, I would also like to say that Scott's taking credit for his 5-1. He's piggybacking off our picks. We do all the research, and all you do is pick which one you like better. So go F yourself.
Yeah, right.
Oh, I'm great, 5-1. You do nothing.
Ooh.
You piggyback off our picks.
Yeah.
So as always, we start off the show weekly with the Vag of the Week, which is, as always, presented by Big Dan.
All right, this week, there's many choices this week for Vag of the Week. I'm going to do 3, actually. The main Vag of the Week is, once again, Mark Sanchez. This is his 3rd Vaggie Award.
Yes.
Manning Memorial Vaggie Award.
No, the award is at the end of the season.
Oh, that's right. Anyway, he's
the
leading for that award. He got like some non-hit against him in the Eagles game. And then he limped off the field.
Yeah.
After nothing happened.
And then they were massaging him like it was a
right.
fucking what are those things called out in the West? The
massage parlor.
No. When you go out, the spa.
Yeah.
Like it was
He's
a
getting
spa
treatment.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're manipulating him and all this stuff. That was ridiculous. He didn't even get hit, and he fell to the ground like it was the worst thing that ever happened to anybody. And then the other people are the New York teams themselves. The Giants came out completely flat against a lousy Redskins team and got blown out. And the Jets came out against a mediocre Eagles team and got destroyed. So those two teams are both Vages for playing horribly when they had so much on the line. I mean, the Giants, if they lose, I think it could be eliminated from playoff contention this week. They're incompetent. I mean, the Jets still have a chance because they have one more games, but it was just unbelievably horrible effort by both teams this past weekend, which was just it's ridiculous. That's why they're also Badgers of the Week. But the main one is Mark Sanchez for supposedly just being touched by Jason Badman's finger, falling to the ground as if he just got into a car accident or had been shot, like Javon Curse, and he went to the sideline. He needed to be massaged and sweet talk too. So here you go, Mark Sanchez. Congratulations.
I think if the XFL had taken off, that the masseuses would be Asian women. You know, like Asian massages on the side.
Instead of some fat get back coach. Oh, Mark. And Mark's like, your hands are kind of rough.
Yeah. Hey, Al, your hands are rough.
And she'd be saying, me so horny, me love you long time. So
what happened in that movie when the black guy tried to proposition her? She said no. So we're not working too well in the NFL.
That's right. Just watched that movie recently.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we will now have the first combined pick presented by Guru Dan.
All right, our first pick of this week, our first combined pick, is Tampa at Carolina. My first part of the analysis is pretty easy. Tampa sucks. They are terrible. They allow almost 400 yards a game. They've lost 9 of the last 10, including 8 in a row. They've been outscored 256 to 134 in that 8-game stretch, and they've turned the ball over 24 times in 9 games, which is absolutely awful. The only thing going for them is they haven't lost 9 in a row since 1985. They're allowing 29 points per game for the season, and they're 1-5 away from home, and they only score 18 points a game, whereas Carolina scores 25 points a game. And Tampa Bay has the 30th overall ranked defense. Carolina is 12-7 in their last 19 against Tampa. They're coming off a big win that they had at Houston. Cam Newton has played pretty well this season for the most part, and has set a bunch of rookie records for passing yards and touchdowns and so forth. I think Carolina is going to win and cover the spread in this game because Tampa I think, has given up on the season. Their coach is going to be fired. The defense is terrible. And Carolina's trying to build momentum for next year. Maybe they could really get to another level, hopefully, for them with another good draft. So take Carolina.
All right. Even though neither of these teams have anything to play for, I do think that Cam Newton is on a stat roll for the season for a rookie QB, and that the Panthers are going to keep playing in this game. So good pick.
Thank you.
I'm not going to put out negative commentary on that.
Tampa Bay has something to play for. A really good draft pick.
Yeah, by losing.
How can you play for a draft pick?
By losing. He didn't qualify it.
Sarcasm. Hey, Scott. It's sarcasm. If you need help, look it up. You probably have WordPerfect over there. Just look up sarcasm.
Or you can just look up dumbass and Brian's picture will come up.
Yeah.
Took you 5 minutes. Hey, way to go there, sound effects guru. Took you 5 minutes to find that sound effect. Scott's like, where is it? Wait, there it is.
Yeah, so there you have it, the first combined pick. We will now have combined pick number 2, presented by Mr. Clean, Brian.
For our second combined pick, we're gonna go. It's Oakland at Kansas City. Kansas City -3. We're gonna take Kansas City. We think they're gonna cover the spread. The Raiders have lost 3 straight. They lost the last 2 on the road. They were blown out by Kansas City the first week, 28-0. Carson Palmer has thrown. What is?
He has thrown an interception in 5 of 7 starts.
Oh, that's a stupid stat.
No, he has. He's turned the ball over 5 times in his 7 starts. He's thrown at least 1 interception in 5 of the last 7 starts.
Casey's coming off an emotional win against Green Bay. They played really well for the new coach. Let's see. Oakland had an emotional loss against Detroit. Detroit won at the last second. Raiders D is 27th overall, and Kansas City's D is 16th. Kansas City's defense is a little better. My basic analysis, I think Kyle Orton played really well last week. I think he has a good grasp of the offense. I think under what's his name?
Romeo Crennel.
Romeo Crennel, they played well for him, and I think actually lately I think the Raiders look lost, and they don't play very well on the road.
They've lost 3 in a row. They've been bad.
And I don't think Oakland overall in the history like the past 10 years, Oakland doesn't play well on the road. They've been a known good home team.
And the thing is about Kansas City, I think they're so happy that Todd Haley's gone. I think they hated him. He's such a rough guy. And they have a different voice in there that inspired them. And I think they're going to play well the rest of the season. And the other thing, too, which I didn't put on there, is Michael Bush averaged 131 yards his first 2 games. His last 5 games only averaged 60 yards rushing a game. So he's slowed down significantly. And Kansas City's defense played well for the most part. So.
And the running back looked well last week, too. What's his name?
Well, I forget his name. Battle.
Yeah,
but
Battle's been playing well.
Defense stinks.
Yeah.
27th. What's his name? Seymour got thrown out 1 game recently. And their last 2 games on the road, they gave up 34 to Miami and 46 to Green Bay.
I know it's toward the end of the season, but I really think that Kyle Orton was a good pickup for the Chiefs. I know they're going to have Castle next year, but Orton's a good quarterback.
He's better than Palco.
Yeah.
Palco stinks.
Orton can run an offense. He's no Tom Brady, but he knows how to run.
Actually, both teams do have something to play for. Both are still can win the division. Even though I think if Oakland loses and Denver wins the division. But theoretically, they're both still in it.
So for all those reasons, take Kansas City by 3 at home. And they play well at home. Kansas City plays well at home. They have a good crowd, good home crowd.
Yeah, they always pack that stadium there, so should have a good game there. So you've got 2 picks in the books for week 15 and
16.
She was just 17. No, 16. Okay, so week 16 picks for the combined gurus are in the books. You've got it, folks. And as always, we can't produce this quality type of broadcast, out of pocket. So please patronize this week's Big Pick 4 sponsor. All right, gentlemen, we're back.
Shady.
For
they're friends. They're like
main
friends.
feature of the show, which are guaranteed picks from the gurus themselves. So we don't know what's in store for this week. Let's have the first, what do we call it? Guarantee.
Guarantee.
The
D stands for dumbass, by the way.
Well, D stands for the guy with a better record than the supposed guru over here.
I'm available to host other shows as well.
Oh, hey, wait! Before we move on, we have to talk about our bet. Whoever wins gets Dan's Gimp. Now, I guess if I lose, Dan gets to keep his Gimp, but maybe I'll have to buy sex toys or something for them, like leather and So
if you win, she loses, definitely. That's an automatic L for her. Anyway, the first guarantee of the week is the Giants at the Jets, which is really home for each team since they both play at the same stadium. I believe the Jets are going to cover in this game. Both teams are coming off, as I mentioned at the beginning of the show, just ridiculously terrible losses, especially the Giants losing at home to the Redskins. The Jets are 6-1 at home this season. They play much better at home than they do on the road. On the road, they're 2-5, I think. 2-4. New York Giants give up 27 points a game. Their defense is not great. They're 28th, whereas the Jets have the 7th-ranked defense. And the Jets also tend to finish strong the past 2 or 3 seasons with Rex Ryan. They've come out, they've had some bad losses, but then they win the last couple games of the season, and they make the playoffs. Whereas the Giants tend to fold. So I think the Jets are going to win this game because the Giants always do so many terrible things. They lose bad home games, and I expect more of the same this week. And I expect the Giants to lose this week and then win next week. That's because that's what they do. They win, they lose when it counts, and they win when it doesn't. So I would take the Jets in this matchup.
Okay, so he's buying the Rex Ryan press conference.
Well, I'm not buying what the Giants are selling right now, and I just think they fold in pressure games. Whereas if they play the Cowboys week 17 with nothing to play for, they'll probably blow them out. That's because that's the nature of that team. I think they have a lot of losers on that team. That defense is terrible. I mean, they be 28th in total defense. It's not going to win you a whole lot unless you have Tom Brady on your team.
Yeah, or Drew Brees.
But they give up so many points. I mean, they're giving up almost whatever it is. They're giving up 27 points per game. That's a lot. They're near the bottom of the league in that category.
And the Jets have Burris, Holmes, Keller.
Yeah, I think the Jets are going to be mad after that last weekend against the Eagles, where they just got.
They didn't show up last week at all. The Jets did not show up.
No, so I think the Jets can rebound.
And they're pissed.
Yeah.
The Jets are good. The Jets are good late in the season. We saw that last season.
Yeah.
Against the Patriots. The only question is this really a home game?
Mm-hmm. The Jets are the home team for this game. They don't have all the Jets colors and all that other stuff. And the Giants don't play well there anyway. They've been awful at whatever the hell that place is called, MetLife Stadium. I mean, look, they blew that game last week. So I don't know. I don't really see it in the Giants.
How many Giants fans are going to squeak in there with tickets, though?
Yeah.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. I mean, they had their whole stadium filled last week, and they still got destroyed
By the Redskins.
by the Redskins. It's sexy Redskins. I mean, Rex Grossman had 22 turnovers going into that game.
That's Rex Grossman for you. No, the Redskins are not rebuilding, mind you. Want to win now.
They're all in.
Yeah, right. They put all their chips on the table, right? It's impossible.
Yeah, so there you have it. Jets are guaranteed. Lock it in. Let's have the big Brian guarantee.
All right, my big guarantee for week 16 is Miami is at New England. The spread is 10 points. We're going to take New England to cover the 10-point spread. Actually, 9.5. 9.5. I'm sorry. 9.5. I think number one. I mean, before I go into all the stats, I just think Tom Brady has been playing really well the last 4 or 5 weeks. He's been on fire. But also I have some things written down here. New England is 5-1 at home. Miami's 2-5 away. New England averages 31 points a game. They're second in the NFL in total offense. Now the Dolphins have been playing a lot better lately. But one of the reasons is Reggie Bush has been playing well, and I think the key to the game is if the Patriots can do what they've been doing and get out the big leads, then Miami's going to have to throw the ball, and then that's where the New England's just going to tee off on defense. I just see Tom Brady getting off to an early lead in the first half. They'll up by 2 touchdowns. I think the second half, Miami's going to have to throw the ball. And that negates the fact that New England is not very good, especially they're not a very good defense, but they're not very good at all against the run. But I think if you have to abandon the run, obviously, it helps when you become one-dimensional. I think New England, especially New England, if they win, they get home field advantage throughout the playoffs. So for all those reasons, and also Miami has 2 of their starting offensive linemen. One, probably a future Hall of Famer, Jake Long, is out. So for all those reasons, that is my big B for Week 16. So lock it and load it, baby.
There you have it. Week 16 picks are in the books. Got some solid picks. My main concern is that Tom Brady sits down in the fourth quarter with the shitty the shitty pass coverage of the Patriots.
That's a good concern.
That's a big cover.
So you think it could be like an Indianapolis game redux, where they go out to a youth and they give it up in the fourth quarter again and it destroys the spread?
Yeah, that could happen, Scott. That could happen to any week, you know.
Yeah.
Well, Brian said they have something to play for, so
they do.
They do. But if they win and they just win out, I guess this game, maybe let Brady play the whole game and then sit out the following week since they won't mean anything.
Listen. It's a risk.
So who is winning in their fantasy league? You all were in I think 10 leagues each.
Yeah, it's a funny story. I actually sold the rights of my team. I'm still in the playoffs, but I sold the rights of my team to a coworker.
Yeah, Brian had the #1 team, and if
I didn't like the matchup.
If he wins this week, he would go next week in the championship game and have a chance to win $350. Instead, he sold his team for $70. There you go. $70 instead of $350 he could have won.
Who is your starting quarterback?
Rodgers.
And if he doesn't play, he has Stafford.
I don't think
now,
Rodgers.
Are they going to sit Rodgers for the
I think
Super
they're
Bowl?
going to sit Rodgers. And Stafford's inconsistent. He's had some good games, but Stafford is not consistent.
Well, he threw 400 yards last week, and this week's facing another terrible defense at home. So he could put up good numbers again.
Yeah, but that's if Steve starts Stafford instead of Rodgers.
We'll have to see. But still, I mean, he could have won over $350. Instead, he's going with 70. So, if you think British you want to sell to him, go ahead.
That's going to be a lot of fun if his team wins the Super Bowl for fantasy football.
Yeah. Oh, I can't wait.
Oh, I'm gonna get ripped to shreds. I'm aware of that.
Yes, and it'll also be funny if he loses his bets too. So if that happens, he owes all that money to those people. Plus, he could have gotten all the money from winning, which he blew. Because money he got back, that $70 is going to go.
But
to
I do get
people.
$20 from Ryan's father-in-law.
Yeah, well, if you remember, we're seeing if that
He's gonna
happens.
remember.
No, if you remember.
It's on the. It's in the thing. It's been written down.
Yeah, we'll be there for when we have fantasy baseball.
Dan will do. Let's just say Dan will do everything in his power to prevent me from getting the $20.
I'm not going to.
You know, Dan, that leads us. That's a great segue because I think selling your fantasy football team in the playoffs is in and of itself a man violation.
That's
but
right.
my counter argument would that a man would not be in fantasy football because if you're most like the gay men, the more feminine men aren't into sports, so that argument is null and void.
By the way, folks, I forgot Brian's 35 barbecue rules. I'll try to bring them for our next show.
These are Dan's. Dan's 35 barbecue
I'll
rules.
let the audience make their decision after I read all the rules. And
I
then they
read
can
my
determine.
5 last week.
We have 35 rules.
There's only one barbecue rule: don't invite Brian. Oh, let me back up a second. Don't invite Brian. So this is the week 16 man violation from Big B.
My man violation for week 16 was inspired by a certain radio host, local radio Philadelphia host. I won't name any names because I'm not going to get sued. But let's just say I hate him. My man violation is for this week is any heterosexual male that wears a fur coat.
Deshaun Jackson?
Yeah, okay, that's a man violation then. Just because he plays football, he can still lose his man card.
Yeah, he was wearing that ugly fur coat.
Any man that wears a fur coat, that's a man violation. You should have your card taken right there.
I assume you were referring to the red-headed werewolf.
I did not say that. I will neither confirm nor deny. So there you have it, folks. My man violation. And if you're a woman out there and you're on a first date and he pulls up, in his fur coat, brand or gray or black or whatever fur coat, I think that's a sign to run. Run away fast.
So all Eskimo men are committing man violations?
If they live in the United States, they are.
But they live in Alaska.
Scott, I'm sorry. Are you mad because you actually have one? I'm sorry, Scott. If you had just bought one for Christmas and we're about to pop it out, I'm sorry, Scott.
He got it for you.
Yeah.
No, I think if it's made of seal, and you're up in no, I think it's if you're above the Arctic Circle, you're getting a pass on that.
Okay, then my man violations are for the United States. Should I have made that clear?
Yeah,
I mean, how many Europeans or other countries are watching the show? All right,
Alaska is part of the United
More than you think, yeah. Actually.
Okay, fine. Contiguous United States. Dan likes to. He's Mr. Technicality over here.
I'm just saying, Alaska is part of the United States.
Fine. Contiguous. That's
We have a number of Inuit fans that you've just offended.
Yeah, I wonder what number that is. 1, 2.
Do they have TVs?
I think they do, yes. They just can't go outside most of the year, so I guess they...
Yeah, right, Dan. They have a flat screen in an igloo.
They don't live in igloos.
Picture this.
Igloos.
So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The picks for week 16 are in the books. Going to recap these, and you're going to see the Big O. I have a lot of commentary on this, so I hope that I don't run out of tape before the end of my commentary, which is Jets.
Is this the first time you took yours?
That's exciting.
My commentary. Jets.
Oh no.
Commentary. I think the Pats pick is at risk because of the big cover, but all in all, I think solid picks. Could go 4-0. I'm gonna say could go 4-0 this week. The second best pick on the board is the Carolina pick. That's the number 2 pick on the board, but not of Big O caliber as of yet. But
Scott, you're really riding high in 5-1, aren't you? Do the ladies treat you
I tell you, man.
Hey Scott, do the ladies treat you differently now that you're 5-1?
I can't believe I lost that one game. I mean, that was a farce that I even lost the one game. It was Atlanta, man. What happened?
Cherry
picker, good word.
Thank you.
That's a good word, cherry picker. My brother's a cherry picker.
Yeah, right. He's the guy who stands next to the basket.
Hey. Money talks, bullshit walks.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess your name is Mr. Bullshit. Should be the bullshit pick of the week.
What did you say, cherry picker?
Yeah, cherry picker.
Oh, that was interesting.
That didn't even make sense.
That's terrible.
How does that relate to cherry picker?
Yeah, right. Sleeping?
I only got one thing to say to you guys, but my spokesman is going to say it.
I wish one of you had children, if I kicked them in their fucking head or stomp on their testicles, so you could feel my pain, because that's the pain I had.